We'll do it live. We'll do it live. What's up, everybody? Ray and Brennan here with Franchise Tag Fantasy Football, bringing you the Week 5 recap. These games today that we watched, some of them were debacles. What's another funny word for it? I think debacle is a good one.
Pain.
Real pain. That Cowboys-Niners game didn't need to be televised. They could have turned that off and put
No, it needed to be televised. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm not even a Cowboys hater. When you have money on the 49ers to win, you take it and you run.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are or happen to be a Cowboys fan, I just have one quick question for you. I think the masses out there need to know. Are y'all still dim boys? I need to know. So we're going to have a recap for you here. We're going to tell you guys what we saw during the games, what we might want to pick up on for the waivers. Really go through some stuff that we, kind of the news and notes, stuff like that. That's what we're going to do today. So, Brennan, news and notes. What do you got?
Yeah, so the biggest news, we'll start with 1A, 1B. So Justin Jefferson pulled his hamstring. They don't know the severity of it. I don't know if they're downplaying it, but he didn't play the rest of the game. They definitely missed him in that game because it could have potentially helped him come back. But I'm really hoping it's just a minor miss 1 week maybe. But this spells like the CMC episode where you took him 101, like what I took Justin Jefferson 101, and he might have lingering issues. And I really hope that's the case.
It didn't look good when he did it. Kind of hobbled off, but I also think that what they were thinking is that the game was getting out of hand at that point, but then they still managed to make it a much closer game at the end.
Yeah. So that's like in the opposite side of the team they played. Travis Kelce has a high ankle sprain, and it looked like his day was done. But when you get a cortisone shot, anything makes you feel really good. So he finished the game. He actually scored a touchdown. He didn't look bad. I'm very curious if he's going to feel the pain now after the adrenaline's off and that thing's swollen like a balloon, because he plays on Thursday. So this is something to be mindful of too. I don't know. I really don't know what his pain tolerance will be, but just tread carefully with that.
Yeah, I got a deep flyer. I'm going to talk about him on this episode, and then I'm going to talk about him on the waivers too. But I got a deep flyer that I think maybe people might need to take a look at.
Okay. And then the other two notes, Tank Dell, he had a big catch, and then I guess it's a leg injury. He went to the Blue Medical tent. He didn't return. There's no real news on it just yet, so I'd be mindful of that. But this is something just to monitor. Unfortunately for him, he's a really young, exciting rookie. He got injured after one catch.
Yeah, and I think that's the worry with Tank Dell because he's such a slender build kind of guy. But hopefully this isn't like a continuation of things. You know what I mean? Like this isn't a reoccurring event.
He needs to take a book out of T.Y. Hilton's and Tyler Lockett's playbook where they just dive.
Just watch Tyler Lockett's tape because he is the exact person Tank Dell needs to emulate.
I 100% agree with that. And then unfortunately, my Lord and Savior, Anthony Richardson, probably has an AC joint sprain. He looked really, really bad and in pain when he got off. It was scary. I thought for sure something worse. X-rays are negative. They went and got an MRI done right after the game, which is a sign of either A, it's not as swollen, or there could be something worse. I've been checking the news constantly, monitoring it. There's nothing net. They'll probably be posted tomorrow. We'll let you guys know on tomorrow's episode. But right now it's an AC joint. And if I had to imagine, he probably won't play because we'll be very cautious with him because Gardner Minshew is a perfectly fine backup in our system.
He's one of the best backups in the league right now, honestly. Yeah. He really is. And I think you guys can still win games with him.
I 100% agree with that. That's why I think if it is an AC joint sprain, it's one of those you got to play through pain things, but I just think they'll be very, very protective with him. So I can just see Gardner Minshew playing next week.
This is one thing that I would really like to point out. This specifically on Anthony Richardson. Going forward, whenever he is healthy and he comes back onto the field, I would imagine that he starts getting a lot more people chirping in his ear about sliding and not trying to avoid contact as much as he can. This is the second time he's been hurt.
The Colts Twitter feed is very much no more design QB runs. limiting it. Don't and he is sliding. He for sure is sliding. He's got. It's just it's unfortunate. He had two people, which equates to 450 pounds, landing on your throwing shoulder. It was just
Yeah, I
it's one of
mean,
those freak accidents. It just happens.
Yeah.
It just sucks.
I'm just pointing out, I know that sometimes an overreaction happens because of 2 injuries in one season.
Yeah.
And I can see that might becoming a trend later in this, whenever he does come back this season. So
yeah,
if he does, I don't know if he does or not.
Yeah, he will.
You hope he
Don't
does.
He will. Don't do that.
You hope.
I don't
Anything else?
No, that's it. We can jump into the first games here.
All right, let's jump right in. Look, we've both been up since 6 a.m. watching that stupid ass London game. Can we not do this anymore? How about they stay up late? We won the war, damn it. Why are we waking up for them? What's happening?
Because Jacksonville needs to go to London and have all their games be primetime over there, apparently.
But, I mean, it's a marketing thing, though, right? He's trying to get that owner's trying, hey, global market, dummies. Yep. And there's a big following out there for Jacksonville. There really is.
There is.
There's a reason that guy makes a lot of money and we don't.
Yeah, Con. Speaking of Jacksonville, they stayed at their home crowd. Technically, it was a Buffalo home game, but Jacksonville won 25-20 for that game. You want to start with the Jacksonville side here, Ray?
Sure. For this game, and we mentioned it before, last episode we were talking about it, it kind of felt like Buffalo was at a pretty decent disadvantage because they were flying over there. They were traveling, but Jacksonville was there already. They didn't have to be jet lagged. And you know what? It looked just like that, right? At the beginning of the game.
Very slow.
It looked like that. But I will say, granted, Buffalo's defense got beat the hell up today. They got shredded today. And by that, I mean a lot of injuries happened. We're going to talk about them more when we get into the Buffalo side of the ball. But, I thought this was a good game for Trevor Lawrence. He looked good. He looked sharp. He looked poised in the pocket. They were trying to hornswoggle him, and he wasn't having the hornswoggling.
He did. Besides the 2 fumbles that he lost, I mean, it was just one of those things that he did look good, though, from the numbers, though. 25 for 37, 315 yards and a touchdown. He did look good. He just hold the ball. Hold it. Tuck it in.
He should have had 2 more touchdowns, too.
I agree with that, definitely.
He should have. But is what it is. Outside of that, I think Calvin Ridley is now kind of a much more safe option. I feel like you can roll him out there as a potential receiver 1, but really he's a receiver 2. Same with Christian Kirk. I think he's a receiver 2. You're fine. You can put him out there. Zay Jones being a flex. Evan Ingram is still steady Eddie. What are you doing with Tank Bigsby right now?
Cutting him.
I think you have to.
Yeah.
And what's stupid is that the second you hit cut,
it's one of those where if you do hit cut, he'll start getting more work. But Travis Etienne, 26 carries, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 receptions for 48 yards. Yeah, he was a stud today.
Yeah, so definitely.
Led to Buffalo.
Yeah, how about Buffalo?
Yeah, I mean, this is a typical Josh Allen game. 27 for 40, 359 yards, 2 touchdowns, a really bad interception. He didn't carry the ball too much. He only had 14 yards on the ground. This is not a really good James Cook game. I don't know what it was. He only had 5 carries. He had a couple receptions. So if you did start James Cook, you were really hurting. But this is Stephon Diggs' game again. 8 receptions, 121 yards. Again, Gabe Davis is. Let me ask you about Gabe Davis. Are you rolling him out pretty more confidently now with back-to-back good weeks?
I hate it. It's back-to-back. It's 3 weeks in a row.
3 weeks in a row.
He's on fire.
6 receptions, 100 yards, and a touchdown. They can't go unnoticed.
You have to, and I don't want to, but you have to.
Okay.
You don't have a choice. He's on fire.
Now, this tight end situation is very weird because Dawson Knox is on the field more. He had more targets than Dalton Kincaid, but Dalton Kincaid looks like the better of the 2.
I think when he initially got drafted by Buffalo, we were talking about it. We had a show about it, and we were kind of saying, the worst case scenario is exactly what's happening right now. That's what's happening.
Dawson Knox.
There's not enough volume for both of them to be 100% relied on, and It sucks to say because, I mean, without Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox is probably a tight end one, almost guaranteed, because it doesn't take very much.
It does not, no.
Similarly, if Dawson Knox went down, Dalton Kincaid's probably a tight end one. Again, doesn't take a lot, but the landscape would tell you that he most likely would be. And it's just it's a volume issue. And they are, what seems to me while watching that game and all the other Buffalo games that I've watched, that they are the 4 and 5 options, sometimes 3, three. But James Cook is probably the 3. I think he is.
Yeah.
So where does that leave them? How much target share is the 4th, 5th option getting? Probably not a lot.
No, it's not. It's unfortunate. And like what Ray mentioned, the Buffalo Bills defense, who at one point, I mean, this is their numbers. They had 5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 2 fumbled recovered, but unfortunately just lost their Pro Bowl linebacker, Matt Milano, who had a leg break. He broke his leg. He's done for the year. This team is just riddled with injuries. They lost their star cornerback in Tre'Davious White with a torn Achilles. They're bleeding really heavily over there on the Buffalo side of the defense. So I'd be mindful of streaming them going forward.
Yeah, and I'm going to be real. Without them having that defense, I don't know who's going to compete with San Francisco right now. I don't know who's going to. So that sucks. What's the next game we have?
The next game we have is Houston, who went into Atlanta, and it was a nail biter all the way to the end. But Houston, unfortunately, lost 19-21. Would you like to talk about Houston's side here, Ray?
Sure. First and foremost, I just want to put this all at ease. I know CJ Stroud didn't have a great game, but like on paper, but he had a great game watching it. I watched a lot of that game.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud is legit. He is a legitimate quarterback. He's not. He looks so much better than what a rookie should. I think Nico Collins is an absolute must start every week at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It was unfortunate that Tank Dell got hurt because I felt like the volume would have been there for him to be competent.
Yes, he's there very much like X factor for them. Besides, I know Nico Collins is very good, but he stretches the field for them very well.
Yeah, so. And they still have that Xavier Hutchinson guy too that they haven't really brought out of IR yet. So might be some more weapons coming, you know. And then they still have John Mechie III. So it's like they have more weapons, you know. They just haven't figured it out. He's a rookie quarterback. Dameon Pierce.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you. So 20 carries for 66 yards and 1 reception for 16 yards. That's so much volume for just nothing. But do you still start him? Like, he's getting 20 carries. He's getting nothing with it, but the volume is there. So like in my mind, I've told everybody volume is key in fantasy football, but at some point having that much and getting nothing out of it, and I know it's their O-line. Their O-line is awful.
Oh yeah.
But like, do you still start him? I mean, you took him as your RB2. You don't
He's
have
not your
options.
RB2 now. He can't be. You had to have made moves at this point.
I mean, some teams don't, but let's just be honest. The running back landscape is so rough right now. He's your RB2 in most teams. So
going forward, after seeing Jaleel McLaughlin, would you rather start Jaleel McLaughlin or Dameon Pierce, knowing Javonte Williams is back?
Oh, dude, I think Jaleel McLaughlin just gets more work in the receiving game. So I think, I go Jaleel McLaughlin.
That's where I'm at. He looks so damn good.
Yeah.
No, I don't particularly care for Dameon Pierce right now. I understand, you're right. That amount of volume needs to be started. I get that because at the running back position, that is a very scarce number to hit, is 20 rushes. I don't see that a lot.
Yeah. My last thing on the Houston side, I'm going to ask you, back-to-back good weeks from Dalton Schultz. Are you?
I said that already. Yes, he should be. He's one of the highest paid people on that team.
Yep.
He should be more involved.
Yeah, he had let's see here. He had 10 targets, 7 receptions, 65 yards, and a touchdown. So I think he's pretty good, comfortable. I think, is he out of the tight end wasteland for you?
Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't take a lot.
It doesn't take a lot there. I will talk about Atlanta's side. This was Desmond Ritter's best game of his NFL career. He has 28 for 37, 329 yards, a touchdown, and he ran the ball in for a touchdown. That's not saying a whole lot. He looked great today against a pretty good Houston defense. I'm still not a believer. Bijan Robinson didn't kill you today. He saved you with that touchdown. Again, this is another back-to-back week for Desmond Ridder. He 6 receptions, 78 yards. Are you comfortable now starting? Drake London. My apologies. Starting Drake London now comfortably now?
Not comfortably. As long as Desmond Ridder is the quarterback, not comfortably. I will say that Desmond's thrown for 300 yards 2 times now.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know how. I don't get it. I'm like watching the game. I don't get how those numbers equate. But yeah, I mean, as a flex right now, I think that's where I would hope Drake London was drafted to be on your roster. I would hope, but probably he was your receiver too. Yeah, he should be started.
And then Kyle Pitts, 7 receptions, 87 yards. Still no, it was a fluke week in your opinion.
It's a trap. It's a trap. Damn it.
That's right. For those that did pivot to Jonnu Smith, you weren't upset. He did get 6 receptions for 67 yards. He had a fumble, but again, it's a points that you weren't expecting from, so you got it. Congrats to you for pivoting towards him. But that's all I have for Atlanta side.
That's it.
Yep. Next game we have still the winless Carolina Panthers went into Detroit. It was 24-42. Would you talk about the Carolina side and have your little Bryce Young moment?
It's not much to talk about. I mean, Bryce Young needs to be sat. That's it. He's not going to benefit from being out there right now. Honestly, he's not ready to do it. Maybe he'll never be. I don't think he will be, but right now, I do not think that that's the best decision for him. I'm a big proponent on sitting your franchise quarterbacks here at least, or 2 or 3. Let them sit behind Andy Dalton. Let Andy Dalton get his ass beat for a little while. No one cares about Andy Dalton. You didn't spend all that money on it or all that draft capital on Andy Dalton. You didn't do that. That's how I see it. Mm-hmm. Right now, Adam Thielen is a must start. Got to get him in your lineup. He is.
Yeah, you do.
Heavily involved.
Oh my goodness! 11 receptions, 107 yards, a touchdown, 22 points today.
The old man getting it done.
Well, I mean, he's the only one out there that can get it done, apparently.
Miles Sanders can't get it done.
No. I was just about to ask you. Chuba Hubbard had more carries than him. I know that the running back landscape is rough, but I can say with certainty you can cut Miles Sanders and you won't be missing anything.
I don't know if you can cut him. I don't know.
I know it sounds weird because they spent the money on him. He's still a RB1 by definition of their depth chart, but he's bad. He is bad.
He's never been that good.
He was okay with Philly because the Philly had a really good offensive line.
Yes.
Yes.
Their offense was better. They weren't relying on him to be talented. He's not that good.
No.
I've said it for how many months now? I've said it. He's not a good running back.
I agree, but I do think you can cut him though, and you won't be upset. Let somebody else start him as RB2. Because if you started him today, he only got you a point.
Ugh, I can't condone cutting. I can't do it.
I can. I'm telling you guys, you can cut him. Go pick up somebody else. Go pick up Julian McLaughlin if someone hasn't picked him up yet already.
Oh, there's no way. But yes,
I'm just saying,
yes.
It's that's if you're gonna have to cut somebody on your team. If let's just say Julian McLaughlin was available, you're looking at Miles Sanders. You picked up Jerome Ford. You've had other guys. I would cut Miles Sanders. I think he's a definite cut candidate.
I can't do it. I can't do it. There's no way.
Alrighty. I will talk about the Detroit side. So Jared Goff had a very, very good game. Diced up his defense. He went 20 for 28, 236 yards, 3 touchdowns, equivalent to 33 points. David Montgomery is very, very good. Jahmyr Gibbs didn't play this game, so David Montgomery had 19 carries, 109 yards, and a touchdown, and he had 2 receptions for 20 yards. This is a game without Amon-Ra, so one of the guys had to step up, and it was Josh Reynolds. 4 receptions for 76 yards. So their prized rookie pick, Jameson Williams, had 2 receptions for 2 yards. I just think it's a starting game for him. But for those that did start him, I'm sorry, but I think he's just still trying to get acclimated to the NFL speed and offense of how it works.
Sam Laporta.
Sam Laporta is very good, and he's a very much locked in for everybody. He had 18 points, 3 receptions, 47 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The kid is good.
You want to know what's crazy is that he could end up finishing as the tight end one. He could.
Oh, absolutely. He's in the arms race because, I mean, like Travis Kelce missed some snaps. Like
He's going to miss some more.
he might miss next week depending on how his ankle is. Mark Andrews is very up and down. TJ Hawkinson is up and down, but this guy's been consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'd trade TJ Hawkinson for Sam Laporta right now.
Oh yeah,
I would do
that. I would too.
I don't think the Sam Laporta owner would give him to me.
With David Montgomery doing what he did, what are you doing with Jahmyr Gibbs?
You cannot start him, but he sits on your bench. You cannot start him now.
It's rough.
I mean, rough. Look, I've never been like a huge David Montgomery fan. I know he's talented, but I've never been a big David Montgomery fan. Hot damn, did he look good today? Hot damn, did he look good today? And like, I put 2 offers in for him today. Like big boy offers.
Oh,
big boy offers.
All right. And so someone wants him real bad.
I don't know if I'm going to get him. I don't think I will.
Yeah. So not much else. The next game, it was the Tennessee Titans go into Indy and they lose. It was 16-23. I will start with the Indy side. So Anthony Richardson was having a very good game until he got injured. It sucks. Gardner Minshew came in and didn't miss a beat. For those that did start Jonathan Taylor, I'm sorry. They did say he was going to be on a snap count. That was very much well documented that he was going to be on a hard snap count. Was the exact tweet that was put up by Diana Rossini. So if you did start him, I'm sorry. And those that did start Zach Moss, congrats to you. You probably won the week. 23 carries, 165 yards, 2 touchdowns. Hey Ray, what's your opinion on Zach Moss now?
There's no way that was Zach Moss in that jersey. That's somebody else. That was like LaDainian Tomlinson or something like that, time traveling. He looked he had so much burst and explosion and just ran with authority.
Like, he ran with a purpose today.
Could you imagine Buffalo watching some of that film being like, we let that guy go and we kept Devin Singletary? Yeah. What are we thinking? But that's not the same guy. It's a different dude.
Sometimes guys just need a different scenery to like get a new feel for themselves. It happens, but
I'm telling you, AJ Dillon's gonna leave. Watch. AJ Dillon's gonna leave. He's gonna be a running back 1 right away. Watch.
Goodness. And then on the receiving side, we did mention on the show before, and I've mentioned before, Josh Downs. He's now starting to get more and more involved in this offense. He's a slot guy for us. He had 6 receptions for 97 yards. Michael Pittman didn't really burn you as much. He had 5 receptions, 52 yards. And we just have a tight end wasteland with our team, so avoid it at all costs. But that's what I have on that side. What do you have for the Titans side?
I mean, D-Hop had his best game as a Titan. He was hyper targeted. Maybe that's something that's going to stick because it was very clear that that's how that offense needs to be ran. That's it. Derrick Henry didn't necessarily look great.
No, he didn't.
Tajay Spears looked much more explosive. Again.
Yeah, he had the one big carry for the touchdown that like really sparked that offense. And someone mentioned it to me. Derrick Henry is not a very good short yardage runner.
No,
he needs that burst of speed because there was a 4th and 1 play that we stopped him, and I was like, oh, they're just gonna give it to Derrick Henry. And like someone showed me the numbers. When you need a yard or 2, that's not a person you want to give the ball to. It's kind of crazy when you think about it.
You would think he'd be the guy, and he's not. He's never been that guy.
No.
But he also is a very much so volume running back.
Okay.
Some running backs that don't, like Devin Achane, doesn't need a whole lot of carries. He just has 45-yard carries every time he touches the ball. But Derrick Henry needs that volume because he wears defenses down. You got to tackle a mountain for 2 hours. You're going to get kind of tired.
Yeah.
Let
me ask you this. Would you trade Derrick Henry for Kyren Williams right now?
After today, I don't know.
I'm trying to get a feel for where people think that Derrick Henry's at. Okay.
Yes. And this is an off day for Kyren Williams.
Yeah. We will move on to the next game here. The New York Giants, 16 points compared to Miami's 31. This is what everyone expected the game to be. It wasn't a trap game at all. Miami had complete control of this game from start to finish. Ray, which side would you like to start on?
Do we want to talk about Miami right now? Do we want to do that?
Yes, let's do it. We'll talk about Miami.
Okay.
So Tua had a good game.
He had a good game on paper, yes.
Yes. 22 for 30, 308 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And I believe he ran one in, or is that, I must be mistaken there. He had that win. But let's talk about Devon Achane.
He needs to be in your lineup every time. You need to make room. Whoever you need to pull out, put him in. That's it. He is a league winner.
Yes.
I can't. He's the definition of it.
I told Ray early before the show started, but his average yards per carry is 15 yards per carry.
And you know what's crazy is I was like, I bet it's like 20, 25. Like every time this man touches the ball, it is just a huge run. And he is just so much faster than everybody else.
I don't know if you saw the Tyreek Hill catch, and Devon Achane looked like he was just kind of jogging.
Yes,
to Tyreek Hill.
Yes,
that's ridiculous.
Yes, it's crazy.
Yeah, Devon Achane, folks, had 11 carries for 151 yards and a touchdown. Raheem Mostert also had a touchdown, but they're splitting the work. So Devon Achane 11, Raheem Mostert had 10 carries for 65 yards. Can you still start Raheem Mostert comfortably?
Yes.
Okay.
As an RB2? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then on the receiver side, Tyreek Hill had a Tyreek Hill day, 8 receptions, 181 yards, and a touchdown. Jalen Waddle saved you with the touchdown. Other than that, he only had 5 receptions for 35 yards. That's really about it from this side. We can talk about the Giants side. It wasn't great. It was pretty bad. That O-line is still awful. Daniel Jones actually left the game with a neck issue. Tyrod Taylor came in, but
it was out of hand.
It was out of hand. I mean, there's no running back we're starting. I mean, Matt Breida had 9 carries for 21 yards. Their other running back, I think his name is Eric Gray. He had 12 carries for 25 yards. The leading receiver for this team, finally for you guys, Darren Waller, 8 receptions, 86 yards. So for those who've been waiting, you got your game today.
And you know what's crazy is he still didn't look that good doing it. Like, I think he dropped like no. The whole team looks like ass, like dog ass.
Do you think they could be in the not? Well, I know they're in the running, but like if they have 101, you're drafting Caleb Williams no matter what you do. Yes, now you're gonna have a $40 million quarterback on the bench.
See, again, I'm just gonna keep hammering this home. They have a $45 million quarterback. Let him play it out. Sit Caleb Williams. Sit him.
I don't know if you could do that.
Sit him.
I don't know if you could do that.
Sit him.
No way.
Just sit him a season.
When you're compared to Patrick Mahomes, there's no way you could sit him. I think Giants fans. He did. You're correct. 100% he did. My problem is I think Giants fans would fucking riot if they saw Daniel Jones do what he did and knowing they have the next unicorn sitting there waiting.
But sometimes you don't put that guy out there because then you mess up all of their mechanics. You detriment them.
Only way I agree with you is that until they fix that O-line.
Oh yeah, like if they win in the next season with that O-line, I'm not putting Caleb Williams out there. Why?
No,
so you can start seeing ghosts.
Yeah,
you get a Sam Darnold out there. No, that's foolish. That's how I see it.
Okay, just wanted to see that. So I'm looking at the apps here. We have the next game, New Orleans 34 and New England, a goose egg. You want to start with the Saints side here, Ray?
Sure. Right now, I do not think that there is anybody outside of Alvin Kamara that can start for you in your lineup until Derek Carr has been cleared to be 100% healthy. Now, Chris Olave saved your bacon with a touchdown, but he was 1 for 2 for like 4 yards and a touchdown or something like that. He didn't do anything.
2 receptions, 12 yards, and a touchdown today.
Yeah, he didn't do anything. Michael Thomas didn't necessarily kill you. I feel like he had 4 receptions. I had to look
4 receptions, 65 yards. So he didn't burn you.
Yeah, it's just like off the top of my head because I didn't write this stuff down.
You're good.
But he has to be healthy before you can rely on this offense outside of Alvin Kamara because Alvin Kamara was fine.
Alvin Kamara was very good. 22 carries, 80 yards, and then he had a touchdown on the ground with 3 receptions, 17 yards. Yeah, he is the focal point. Derek Carr actually didn't have a terrible day when it comes to fantasy-wise. He was 18 for 28, 183 yards and 2 touchdowns, equivalent to 19 points. He doesn't look healthy, though. I agree with you. It's not the deep ball is not there, so they had to use short yardage. And luckily, the Patriots are so banged up on defense, being out their 2-star players, they could take advantage of it. Now, let's unfortunately talk about the Pat side because there is fantasy implications with a couple guys there. Ramondre Stevenson, what are you doing? He was a second round, third round pick for you.
You hold and hope Bailey Zappi comes in. That's the only thing you can do. That's it.
Okay.
Because you can't cut him. You're not trading him for anything right now.
No.
Zeke was more involved. Zeke looked more involved than Ramondre.
Yeah, he had more receptions, and that's where Ramondre feasts. That's where I'm not understanding is that Ramondre is not really getting work in the passing game. That's where he does really well is his receiving, and he had 2 targets today. You think you try to set some screens up, get something going, but like I don't know. Mac Jones is not looking hot. 12 for 22, 110 yards and 2 interceptions and a fumble loss. Like Saints defense good, but not that amazing.
And the interceptions that he threw were really bad.
Yes.
Egregious.
Yes. Do you think he starts next week?
He shouldn't.
But do you think he does?
Yes.
Okay. Let me ask you this. If this ends up being a 4-13 team, does Bill Belichick get fired?
I don't think he would ever get fired. I don't think that would
Do you
realistically.
think they kindly ask him to retire?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But I do not think there's no way the whole state of Massachusetts, New England, the whole state of Boston, all of it, all these, not even states, they're not even states, but just, you know what I'm saying? Like
the Northeast region.
Yeah, the entire Northeast region. They would all just light that whole place on
Dunkin'
fire.
Donuts would be on fire everywhere.
Yes. Yes.
Let me ask you one final question. So did Tom Brady win the divorce?
Yeah. Yeah, because he got a Super Bowl and they didn't.
Yeah.
So
on to the next game. Baltimore goes into Pittsburgh and does everything they can to give Pittsburgh the win, and they do. Is Baltimore 10, Pittsburgh 17. Would you like to start with the Baltimore side?
Sure. Can we get some pass catchers for Lamar? Like, they can catch the ball? Like, I love Zay Flowers, but my God, catch the ball. Mark Andrews, catch the ball. He had a fine day. I think he had about 8 fantasy points today. A fine day. But that's tight end 1 guaranteed. Lamar was okay. Didn't kill you. Gus Edwards was my start of the week, and he didn't see the field very much because Justice Hill was better than him, and that's what I was afraid of, and that's what he was. So there's that.
Yeah.
No more deep shots for me. That's it. No more deep shots. I'm taking low-hanging fruit from now on. Can't be doing that.
Can you cut Rashad Bateman?
Yes.
Can you cut Odell?
Oh, yeah. If you have Odell on your roster, I don't know what you're doing. Get rid of him.
Okay. Nelson Aguilar.
Oh, yeah. Even in a 16-man league, I'm getting rid of him. He isn't seeing my lineup. No way.
And what are you doing with his backfield? Because, Gus did out-touch him by carries, but Justice Hill had 7 carries, 32 yards, and that touchdown, but he also had 4 receptions for 13 yards. But Gus had 12 carries. So are you still starting Gus? Or
with the way that the landscape is right now, I think you have to roll Gus out there until that rookie running back that they have, I think it's Kendre Miller. Is that his name?
No, it's Kendre Miller's for the Saints. I know who you're talking about, though. He's basically waiting to get healed. I think it's like Kenneth Mitchell.
Something like that.
Keaton Mitchell. Yes.
Keaton Mitchell.
Yes.
A name to remember in the back of your head.
Yes, I agree, folks.
Because it's very clear that they do not have a good running back right now.
They do not.
He was a good running back in college. Let's see what he is in the NFL, because you already know what you got in Gus Edwards and Justice Hill. They're not good. So
take your deep shot somewhere else. I will talk about the Steelers side. So Kenny Pickett, if you did start him for whatever reason in a pinch, he did okay. He had the big touchdown throw to George Pickens, who had himself a game. He is legit. 6 receptions, 130 yards, and a touchdown. Outside of those guys, Jalen Warren is a little bit more involved with the running backs because Najee Harris had 14 carries, 37 yards, which is by the metrics, it's like that's under 3 yards a carry, which is terrible. Jalen Warren had 9 carries for 40 yards. Again, I said this before. Jalen Warren is a better running back than Najee Harris. I don't know what they're going to do. Matt Canada is truly trying to sabotage this team. I don't know if you saw this, Ray. I wanted to allude this to you. He actually threw a temper tantrum when Kenny Pickett threw that touchdown to George Pickens because Kenny Pickett he made a shuffle of the play.
I didn't see that.
No, there's a video of it. I don't know if it's like 100% true or not, but like I kind of believe it because there's been times that have been told me from Steelers fans have said that like Kenny Pickett sometimes his headset doesn't work and so he just goes he calls his own plays, which I think he should probably do that more often now.
I wonder if that go ball to George Pickens was a play that he had called. I wonder.
That's what it was. He audible out of it. That's what it was.
Was it?
Yes, that's what the whole
Continue
thing was.
To do those things.
Yeah. If you did start the Steelers defense, congratulations, 21 points. I don't know if they do that again against Baltimore, but hey, I've seen crazier things in fantasy. On to the next game. Cincy. Joe Burrow. Maybe is he back? We don't know. 34 to Arizona's 20. Would you like to start with Cincy side here, Ray?
I would. As much as like this was a get right game for Joe Burrow, it was. Mm-hmm. He did get sacked a lot. I thought he looked better than he did last week in terms of like his mobility and his pocket awareness and being able to get around the pocket. I thought it looked better. And I don't necessarily know if that's Arizona's defense in general, like they just make him look better, or is it that he truly is, on the uptick of finally being healthy,
Yeah.
But I will say that, Arizona does not have a good pass rush. They haven't had one. It's not really something they're cooking up over there.
No.
And they got after him a hell of a lot. I just enough to where they got 31 points dropped on them. They still got you 5 points in fantasy. Like they were all over Joe Burrow. So just something to monitor, I guess. I still don't think that Joe Burrow is a weekly start right now. I think that he is matchup dependent until proven otherwise. And this was a matchup dependent game.
Yeah.
Outside of that, Ja'Marr Chase, all that's man. And
he is open. He is always fucking open, Ray.
Yeah, he's always open. And he is. He was always open.
15 receptions, 192 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
I will say that DJ Moore did more.
He did. He did do more. But it's crazy imagine if you faced Ja'Marr Chase and DJ Moore.
That's a realistic stack too. That's not like a out of the ordinary kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. It's just casual 100 bomb from 2 players.
And Devin Achane and like Sam Howell, like if you got that put up against you, can you please put that in the comments? Can we see that picture? Just that nuke that you just ate. You wore it. That's too much.
It's funny. Let me ask you though. So there's a guy who I told you guys. I said, "What about Trenton Irwin?" And you guys were like, "Oh, I'm not sure." He had 10 targets and he had 8 receptions for 60 yards. If T. Higgins is out, are you picking him up? Is he a waiver wire ad?
Maybe in a deeper league, maybe.
Okay.
If you're talking about a 16-man league, then yes.
Okay.
But I'm only saying that because I would temper expectations because of the fact that they played Arizona.
Okay.
That's it. I get that, like, this was a good game for Cincinnati's offense. But was it? Or was it because of Arizona's defense? I don't know that. And, like, you've had now, 4 weeks of subpar play and non-viable pieces, and 1 week where things have looked okay. I don't want to take the gamble right now.
All right, fair enough. On the Arizona side, Josh Dobbs, if you did start him today, he wasn't terrible. 15 for 32, 168 with a couple carries on the ground. He had 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He had a fumble loss and still put up 15 points. James Conner did get hurt. They don't know the severity of it yet. He's feeling okay after the game. Something to monitor, but they had their rookie Amari DeMercado who filled in, and he wasn't bad. He had 10 carries, 45 yards, a touchdown. So that's just something to monitor. Again, if James Conner's good to go, don't even bother picking him up. I guess if you are a James Conner owner, he'd be a nice little handcuff because he showed that he is would be the RB2. Hollywood Brown, a must start as always, 4 receptions, 61 yards, a touchdown. Rondale Moore, is that somebody you're considering adding?
Yes, he's now been more involved 3 weeks in a row.
Yes.
You've seen a progression to involvement 3 weeks in a row, and he was a high draft capital guy.
Yeah,
and he's super talented. They
Super
need
fast.
they needed 2, and we thought maybe it was Michael Wilson.
Yeah,
It wasn't,
yeah. He
but
just had himself a game.
yeah, and like what we told you was that, hey, look, if you got a spot in the back of your bench, grab him. Don't
Yeah.
spend any fab on him. Grab him. See if
Yeah.
he's worth something.
Yeah.
He's not. You can cut him. It's fine.
Yeah.
I think Rondale Moore is the option. See what you can do. I don't. Again, maybe 5 fab, maybe.
I'd say like
not a lot.
3 to 4. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Not a
Nothing
lot.
crazy.
yeah.
Because you're not going to start him. You're just hoping for a Hollywood Brown injury. Now it becomes a more viable starter. So,
Or you want to see more progression and see him actually being schemed into the offense full time. Then you're like,
agree.
okay, well, maybe I can start him in a flex in a pinch. You know what I mean? So
I agree. And then my tight end start of the week, Zach Ertz, 2 receptions, 10 yards, and a touchdown. He's probably tight end 11 or 12 on the week because it's 8 points right there. And
he's higher than Mark Andrews and he's higher than TJ Hawkinson.
So I called my shot and I got it. Congrats to me. Moving on to the next game, it was Philadelphia went into Los Angeles. So might as well just call it a Philly home game because anytime there's a game at SoFi, it's just an opposing team's home game. It was 23-14. Ray, would you like to start here? What side would you like to start with?
I want to start with the Rams side of the ball.
Let's go for it.
So, I in one of my group chats here, great friend of the show, Jordan. He was giving me the business about putting Puka in my lineup, and I told him, it's like, you're going to be surprised that this is not going to be, this target share isn't going to be 100%. Cooper Kupp. It's not going to be, and it did look like that at the very beginning of the game, but towards the end, you saw what the median was going to be, and 12 targets for Cooper Kupp, 11 for Puka. I would think that it might be a little more slided towards Cooper Kupp, but I would also say that Puka dropped a couple balls this game as well. So maybe that might have changed the way that dynamic goes. So I am not afraid of putting Puka in my lineup at all. I think he's going to finish as a receiver 2, almost guaranteed.
You would start Puka and Cooper Kupp comfortably, correct? As your wide receiver 1 and 2?
Oh yeah, without a doubt, yes.
Yeah. So Rams, I mean, they looked okay. It's just a rough team when you play them. Matt Stafford doesn't bad. You did start him, 21 for 37, 222 yards and a touchdown. Let me ask you about this. Tutu Atwell's day was saved if you did somehow pivot him to a flex. He had 2 receptions for 9 yards and a touchdown. You're not starting him anymore, right?
No.
Because you just saw that with Puka and Cooper Kupp. It's theirs. Higbee, 2 receptions for 20 yards. That was it's rough sledding for him. I don't know. I think it's just those guys. Like Kyren Williams, though, still going to start him, right? Nothing else going for him. Yep. Mm-hmm. On the Eagles side, Jalen Hurts did Jalen Hurts things, man. 25 for 38, 303 yards, a touchdown. He got picked. Well, AJ Brown was outplayed by that DB. I don't know if you saw that interception. That was a hell of a catch by that DB.
It was
impeccable. But Jalen Hurts, 15 carries for 72 yards. This is a big running game for him. DeAndre Swift didn't kill you. He had 17 carries for 70 yards and then 6 receptions, 36. I do want to say this, though. This game was the score, I guess, doesn't really show, but it was closer than this. AJ Brown is being force-fed a lot. He has 6 receptions, 127 yards. Devonta Smith only had 1 catch for 6 yards, but he did have 5 targets. I don't know what's going on. I do think Devonta Smith should be a little bit more targeted. I know AJ Brown had that big meltdown, but this team does flow so much more when Devonta Smith gets a little more targeted. And it's not a thing against AJ Brown. I think AJ Brown's super talented, but I think Devonta Smith just stretches the field way better.
I think that, and he's able to move the chains more consistently than AJ Brown can. Yeah. Where AJ Brown's like, honest to God, he's just the big play guy. That's what he is. He's just really good at it.
Yeah.
I would consider Devonta as the guy that you need to move the chains.
Yeah.
I can also stretch the field, but I would agree. He needs to be more involved, and it's just crazy. And it's like 2 weeks in a row. I'm hoping that things kind of return back to the mean.
Panicking at all about Devonta Smith or no?
I'm not feeling good.
Okay.
Not great.
What's your worry meter out of 1 to 10?
Probably a 4.
By 4. All right.
Yeah, probably a 4, 3.5. And if it's one more week, it's gonna jump up to like a 7.5. I'm really panicking. But
Fair enough.
the one thing about AJ Brown, he's gonna get hurt, so we're gonna be just fine. It's gonna be okay. He's good for one injury a season.
All right. And then for those who've been waiting for a Dallas Goedert game, you definitely got it today. 8 receptions, 117 yards, and a touchdown. Good call from Aaron for his start of the week. They did say they want to get him a little more involved. I don't think 9 targets happens next week, but I do think he does get a little bit more involved, though.
Yeah, I think that you're not starting him. You're not, because his big boom game is a lot higher than like whoever else you're going to be rolling out there outside of like, the big 5 or big 4 that you could put out there.
Yeah.
He's a part of that. He is a part of that. I would say the top 5 tight ends talent wise in the NFL right now.
Okay.
Maybe Sam Laporta's better than him. I don't know.
I think so. I think Sam Laporta's ceiling has a higher ceiling.
Yeah, Sam Laporta's better than him.
All right. Fair enough.
Sam Laporta's better than TJ Hawkinson.
Yes, I agree with that one too.
Sam Laporta's better than Mark Andrews.
No, all right. We're not going crazy here. We're gonna end this crazy train right now. We're gonna move
one more week.
One
more week.
Not doing this. Anyways, we have the Hackett revenge game. The Jets go into Denver and beat them 31-21. Ray, would you like to start with either the Jets or the Broncos?
I can start with the Jets. It's fine.
Okay.
Breece Hall, he's back. Don't ever
Yes,
not put him in your lineup. He's A-okay. Garrett Wilson is going to be a super, super volatile start every time that you put him in your lineup. Every time.
Yeah.
He's going to get 7 to 10 targets. But is he going to be able to come down with those targets? Because is Zach Wilson going to be able to get him the ball effectively? I don't know how many times I was watching this game screaming at the TV to throw the goddamn ball to Garrett Wilson. Just do it. Just throw it to him.
Yeah, it's frustrating because like you took Garrett Wilson so high, so you can't not start him. But like it's just one of those things where it's like, come on, man, like create plays for your most talented player besides Breece Hall. Like you need to like do some screens, slants, quick throws, like because he's really good when he gets a little bit of space. So
it just frustrates me
every
time I think about it. Tyler Conklin was fine. He'll probably finish as a tight end 1 this week. I think what did he go like 4 receptions for 70 yards?
4 for 67 was his final line.
Pretty good guess, right?
Yeah,
pretty
close.
Good guess. Yeah, pretty good guess.
Let me ask you this: can you cut Dalvin Cook?
No.
Okay. Would you rather have Michael Carter or Dalvin Cook on your team?
Dalvin Cook.
Okay.
I'm only saying that as a handcuff. I'm not saying that he's a valuable handcuff.
Okay.
But if you need to make room, cut him. Breece Hall is just a trillion times better than
If I were to tell you that by the number metrics, Dalvin Cook is the 48th best running back out of 52 running backs, would you be surprised?
Nope.
Okay,
nope, because he hasn't looked good.
I just wanted to let you know he is the 48th best running back by PFF numbers.
But if Breece Hall goes, if he goes down, Robert Saleh showed he wants to run the ball.
Oh,
a lot.
Yes.
So
they don't want the ball in Zach Wilson's hands.
Yeah, it's a valuable role, and
yes,
that's why I'm saying don't cut him, but don't put him in your lineup. Don't do that.
Okay.
That's foolish.
All right. On to the Broncos side. If you are still starting Russell Wilson for whatever reason, he's not killing you. He had 20 for 31, 196 yards and 2 touchdowns. He actually ran a little bit, man. He's kind of crazy.
Did.
7 carries for 50 yards. He did fumble once, which cost him the game. So hours before, I hope everyone pivoted out of Javonte Williams because literally it was just in the morning games. You probably got told at halftime he's out. So luckily, I did have Jaleel McLaughlin. I had him handcuffed. Jaleel McLaughlin is what we thought Javonte Williams would be in this lineup. It's frustrating, but man, 9 carries, 68 yards, 3 receptions for 21 yards and a touchdown. Um, what do you make of this backfield?
Whenever Javonte Williams does come back, I feel like Samaje Perine will be the ass out. I don't. At this point, I don't think that they have a whole lot more options that provide an explosive element like Jaleel McLaughlin. That's not a joke.
No kidding.
He
He
looks-
literally he's fast. Like he just
he
looks
looks
like a
so
change
much-
of pace.
Yeah, he looks so much more athletic than like the Cortland Suttons and even the Jerry Judys. He just looks like he has a different gear.
Yeah. So what are you gonna do if Javonte comes back next week? Are you starting Javonte or you start Jaleel McLaughlin? Let me ask you that.
Why? Why do you do that? Why?
Because I want to hurt your feelings, because I'm in that same boat.
I have to start Javonte. I have to believe because I know how talented he is.
Mhm.
If you're down by a lot or you're projected to lose, I'm putting in Jaleel McLaughlin. That's what I'm doing. That's how I'm playing it.
I think I'm starting Jaleel McLaughlin no matter what.
Oh my god.
I think I'm doing it.
No.
I think it's just there. On the receiving side, Cortland Sutton has been leading this team in targets and yards, but today it was Judy's day. He had 6 for 50, and Cortland Sutton only had 1 catch for 13, so he did burn you there. Yeah, I don't know what to do with this receiving core because Jerry Judy's been very just mid. He's been in trade rumors. I don't know what are you doing with this Broncos receiving core? I don't even want to start any of them, to be honest with you.
Cortland Sutton's the only one that I would reliably put in my lineup, and even then, I don't want to.
Okay,
but he's the only one. I'm not like Jerry Jeudy has done nothing this season to make me believe that he's going to be anything in Denver.
Yeah,
I know that he's really talented. I know that he can do things in the NFL at the NFL level. I just think he's one of those guys like you were saying. No, he needs to change pace or change
the scenery. Yeah. I actually think if he were to go to Carolina, he hurts Adam Thielen's value.
Yeah, and you know what? Now that you threw that out in the universe, I can see that. I can see him going to.
But I do think Sean Payton wants his guy. I think Sean Payton's going to be like, "This wasn't my team. I came into this mess. This is why it sucks." And he just ships everybody out, and then he starts drafting his guys, and then even then, it's still his fault because that team's just not going to be good. So
no.
On to the next game. The Taylor Swiftless Kansas City Chiefs go into Minnesota. They did win this game 27-20. Ray, would you like to start with Kansas City or Minnesota side?
The cliff notes for the Kansas City side of the ball. You're not worried about starting Isaiah Pacheco. I know this was a more down game for him than it was last week. Travis Kelce did get hurt. I do not think he plays next week. The name that I wanted to bring up, Noah Gray.
Okay.
Noah Gray. And I'm only saying this as a really deep shot. But every time that Travis Kelce has missed any time, and it hasn't been a lot, but when he has missed plays here or there because of whatever is going on, Noah Gray is involved. And he has a rapport with Patrick Mahomes. Just a name to throw out there. Really deep shot. Again, usually deeper leagues or something like that. Maybe a DFS throw. But I like that guy. I like him.
All right. Yeah. This has been a very weird season for Mahomes. This has not been a Mahomes-esque season. Would you agree?
Yeah, it hasn't been.
Yeah. On the Vikings side, Kirk Cousins, again, he still put up 23 points today. Alexander Mattison saved you with a touchdown today. Me and the guys were talking about it. Cam Akers I don't know what it is. He just looks better when he's in this lineup, when he's playing with them. I don't know why they're pivoting it towards it, but I can see it. Like Alexander had 8 carries, Cam Akers had 5. So it's getting closer to being Cam Akers' backfield. Receiving side, Jordan Addison had to step up because unfortunately Justin Jefferson gave you a big stinker today, 3 receptions, 28 yards, but Jordan Addison had 6 receptions, 64 yards. So if Justin Jefferson is down for a little bit with a hamstring, he's going to be Kirk Cousins' go-to guy. And then we can talk about other pickups here. But TJ Hawkinson, 5 catches, 51 yards, doesn't really burn you, but that's what it is for this team. Any notes from your side for the Vikings?
No.
And for the last game, everyone thought would be a great game. Turned out to not be a great game after the kickoff because San Francisco decided to pee-pee slap Dallas 42-10. Ray, do you want to talk about San Fran's side or do you want to talk about Dallas's side?
I'll talk about Dallas' side real fast. This
Okay.
is going to be as quick as I can make it because we are super long in the tooth. Tony Pollard, not a great game for Tony Pollard. Not a great game for anybody in this offense in general. Dak didn't look good. Dak looked bad.
He did 3 interceptions.
And 2 of them were just, what are you doing?
Egregious.
One of them was a tip ball. But
Yes.
there's not a whole lot left to take out of this game. I don't think that Ferguson helped you out very much. Michael Gallup wasn't a start. CeeDee Lamb probably hurt you more than he helped you this week.
Yeah.
Brighter days are ahead. This is the best defense in the NFL.
It's the best team in the NFL, in my opinion.
Yes.
And then
And
go ahead.
Dallas is not as real as what we thought they were.
I think 2 things can be true. I think San Fran's the best team, and I think Dallas has a lot of things they need to work on.
Yes.
For San Fran's side, current MVP winner, or who should be in the lead for MVP, Brock Purdy, was 17 for 24, 252 yards and 4 touchdowns. He made this look effortlessly today. Like, it is incredible. I get it. He's surrounded by talent. I don't doubt you. I'm not going to take that away. But I mean, still 17 for 24. So he's very accurate. Yes. None of the guys really, besides George Kittle, was like really the big star. Like Brandon Ayuk only had 7 points. Debo only had 10. Christian McCaffrey only had 12, even with a touchdown. It was George Kittle's day today. It's always going to be like that. It's always going to be one of these guys' day, and then kind of the rest just follow. And it was George Kittle's day today.
It was.
Yeah. 3 catches, 67 yards, and 3 touchdowns will do that for you.
Yeah, he just, whenever he caught the ball, it was a touchdown.
Yeah.
What do you do with Trey? Or is it Trey Mason or Jordan Mason?
Jordan Mason.
What do you do with him?
If you have Christian McCaffrey, well, it's tough because Elijah Mitchell's out, and Elijah Mitchell is the guaranteed second running back. He's just hurt, but he's always hurt. So, like,
Mason looked good.
If you have Christian McCaffrey, I think I would rather own Jordan Mason than Elijah Mitchell, just because Elijah Mitchell always is hurt. The dude is a heat-seeking piss missile when he runs. That's probably why he's always injured. But if I'm going to pivot to owning somebody as a handcuff, if you do own CMC, it would be Mason.
I like Mason. I like him.
That's the only time I'd own Mason if I actually own CMC. That's it.
Yeah.
So.
And that's it.
It is.
That's it. Anything else? This is the longest episode we've done in a while. So
it's all right.
Anything else for the greater good there, Brennan?
I've got nothing.
For the one person that's going to watch this today. It's me. I'm talking to myself in the future. If you guys could, please hit that like, hit that share, hit the subscribe. Help us grow the channel. Help us get back on track with these views, please. We would really like to see these views jump up, and that's how you help us. If you guys have any other specific questions you'd like us to answer, please drop them in the comments. And until next time, we will see you later.